just before I like to introduce myself, I'm a plastic surgeon, and I've been traveling a lot during my formations. And one of the things that really surprised me was that whenever a woman received bad news, there was that she had breast cancer, and she was operated, and then she just started the reconstruction pathway. It didn't matter if I was in Australia, in UK, in the United States or Sweden or all the countries where I've been doing my formation. It was very sad to see that she came to the medications with handkerchief in the handkerchief for cotton buds or whatever, just to disguise this mutilation that she was having at the time. But in the end, after a couple of years, she was going to have again her breast. So I decided to invent a bra that a woman could wear during this temporary phase, just to have a normal life. Because can you imagine, not only a grandmother, but also a young mother that could not wear a dress like this, because they have to disguise that from one side is this breast and the other side there is a breast mount that is growing up, but you can see the difference. And this was very sad, and is a self-limitation in leading a social life and a real life. So I arrived to this invention, this magic, this mammary garment ideal for camouflage, and I got a patent. The University Sapienza of Rome, where I belong, just supported me, and I created my own startup. What's happened that in 2011, I met the Italian Association of Women Inventors and Innovators. This association was founded in 2007, and every year they have a prize just to support women. I applied for the prize, and with my big surprise, I won in 2011. Then I went to the GlobalWIIN in 2013, and I was one of the awardees. I stayed in a eTwin association, and then now I'm the chairwoman of this association, whose mission is to help other women to develop patents, to stress the importance of having the patents and creating connection and network also with other associations, just to support ourselves and to have role models and so on from the beginning. So this is what I am in a short time, also because we're running late. And I have to present the second session. And the second session is very important because there is a focus on the marketing strategies to raise the capital. I mean, to have a good idea is not good enough. To have a successful startup, we need a lot of things. There is financial aids and marketing, whatever. And for me, it's an honor to call on stage the chair of this session, that is Asia Pessinen, that is acting CEO at the Ideointitoimisto. I apologize, but it's not my language, so I don't know how do they say. Probably she will say it in the more appropriate way. And she is the chair for the Finnish Women's Innovator Network. So I'm sure that we will find that the social media can play a big role, as well as associations as our ones will have a very supporting role for women inventors. Thanks so much to everyone. Please.
Hello, ladies, and thank you
I give you the.
Yes, thank you, darling. Yes, it's a funny thing. We are called chair women, but I've heard that we are chairs. And when I heard that we are chairs, I was thinking, what kind of chairs are we? But that is the balance. We are not chairmen, we are not chairwomen, we are chairs. We can be men or women. Right. So I have the great opportunity to talk about marketing strategies and getting financial help for inventors. And unfortunately, the one who was supposed to be the chair in here, Madame Feriel Nas from Bahrain, is ill and couldn't come. So I step in, and I'm very informal. Sorry for that, but please enjoy. So I'm an inventor myself as well, and I know what are the problems, and I know how to conquer them, but we have the whole session of fantastic ladies over here explaining all that. We have Sheikha Nabila Al-Sabah from Al-Saad Foundation, and great, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And she's from Kuwait. And if we talk about Mina, word Mina, it doesn't mean a mine that you can step on and lose your legs. It's Middle East, North Africa area. Is that right?
Yes.
Good. She's from Mina. There. And then we have Lahu Geita from France. She's the co-inventor of Tempeus. And you speak English, right?
I speak English.
Lovely, because my French would be very poor, and it would be a challenge for all of us. And then we have is Icelandic Dr. Torbjörn Jensdottir from Ice Medico, and welcome.
Thank you.
I'm also from the medical field, so I might be interested in knowing what kind of strategies you have chosen that could have been better for me. And then we have Her Excellency Olainika Fayomi, a chair of Finance Investment Network from Nigeria. Is she still there? She's not there. Never mind. We'll be fine. Right. We can sit. As I know quite little from you, just by what I've got from internet, could you please explain who you are and what kind of path has it been to become you as now? Of course, what you will be in the future, we will discuss that later on.
So my name is Nabila Sabah, and I run 2 initiatives for Al-Saad Foundation. It's a foundation that has started in 2009 in Kuwait, and we mostly work with education, women empowerment, and innovation. As I said, I run 2 initiatives, one of which is GlobalWIIN, which is the regional network for GlobalWIIN in the Middle East. And I also am the head of an innovation science competition for girls in public schools.
Great. One mistake, first mistake, one of the many, is that I didn't invite Francesca Melera to speak with us. She's coming from there. It takes time until she's here. She's inventor of rails. Great. And great. Then Keita. Oh no, Keita Lahu.
Lahu is my first name. Keita is my last name.
Great.
So thank you, first of all, to GlobalWIIN. We saw all the hard work behind the scene, and it's great to be here. And thank you for this panel. I am the co-founder of Keita Systems, which is an aerospace company, with my sister and partner Fatou Keita, who is a medical doctor. That means that aerospace and medicine work very well together. I am myself an aircraft inspector, former employee of the French famous manufacturer Dassault Falcon Service, which is a subsidiary of Dassault Aviation. And I am the inventor of the first black box of an airplane. As I am an aircraft inspector, I have identified a safety gap which needed to be covered with the third black box to enhance the safety of each aircraft, to reduce human errors, as well as the paper management, and to reduce the airplane carbon footprint.
Right. So always when we hear about an air crash, the one and only, the main thing they are looking for is the black box. And she is one of the inventors of
So this
that.
one will be the first never lost that can be opened remotely as an app with the telephone. So
There you are.
no excuse anymore. We will see what's going on the aircraft.
Lovely. And Torbjörn, what is ICE Medico doing?
ICE Medico is based on a scientific project that goes way back when I was a PhD student. I had no sort of vision as a child of becoming an entrepreneur. This just kind of happened. I developed a product that was improving the quality of life of people. First and foremost, I was studying cancer patients and the effect of radiotherapy on both the quality and obviously the volume of saliva, and how that developed after the therapy, if it came back, and in what amounts and qualities. So there's a lot of physiology and chemistry of the mouth. I didn't have any plans of out of that. It was a patent process that was in collaboration with a university, Copenhagen University in Denmark, and the Danish industry, as well as the ministry. I did a double PhD program at the time, PhD in health science and industrial PhD. So it was a collaboration between those three. And I had no plans of taking this further by myself. But the industry wanted to do it, and they had the first right to do it. I, as inventor, had to sign off all rights at the time. But then the economic crisis hit, and it wasn't a priority of the industry of doing something new. And I watched them put my hard work in science and invention down the drawer. And that's where the fighter came up in me. So I finished my PhD or defended my PhD thesis in 2006. I went from there, I did executive MBA at Copenhagen Business School due to my interest and new interest in patent processes and business. And in 2008, I established ICE Medico around this invention. So that's, in a nutshell, that's how it all came about. And that's what ICE Medico is doing today. Now the product, which is a saliva stimulant, stimulates normal saliva at least 20 times in all of us, really, not only them with dry mouth, and is increasing quality of life of many. It has been over 10 years in the market, and in Iceland, the biggest pharmacy chain was recommending 3 saliva stimulants in 2021, is now only recommending HAP Plus, which is the product of ICE Medical, as its best documented or for functionality, it's only scientifically tested and proven saliva stimulant in the market. So we don't have a competitor in the market at the moment.
Yes, very good.
So that's the story. It's a long story, but it's kind of it's a true entrepreneurial story. So I didn't wake up one day and wanted to quit my day job. It wasn't like that. So anyway, that's me.
So, and for us, for us less knowing about production of saliva, of course now when we are talking, we are a lot of using saliva, but why is it important to produce more saliva in your mouth?
It's an excellent question, and thank you for asking that. So saliva is the immune system of the mouth. So as soon as you lose out on your volumes and the quality of saliva, the not only your teeth, but the oral cavity starts to degrade. So you see a lot of dental diseases, but also fungal infection and irritations and general degradation of the oral cavity mucosa. And those who suffer from severe dry mouth, they don't have the luxury of being able to speak like I'm doing right now or any of us are doing. They don't, the tongue is kind of stuck to the palatal. They have difficulties chewing, therefore eating, sleeping. So the whole, socially, they don't go out to share dinner with friends. They don't go out to communicate. They isolate themselves at home. And there are a lot of different things like that. So throughout the years I've been working with Ice Medico and Half Plus in the market, it's been so inspiring when I receive this email saying, I haven't slept for years. It's now because often people drink water to kind of relieve the dry mouth, and then they wake up during the night and have to pee. So by sucking Half Plus, and you could do that after you brush your teeth, because it's not only stimulating saliva, but it's also maintaining healthy teeth and oral cavity. And the Icelandic Dental Association has their brand on our packaging. They support Half Plus and the daily users of Half Plus. So there is, obviously you need to have met these people, and I did so back in the days when I was 20-something and doing my PhD many, many years ago. And it's, it becomes a passion. You're actually helping people and changing the world, and that's what's the real drive of all this.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And now, not the least, Francesca Melera she's an inventor of frills, and she comes from my beloved Switzerland. I've been working there for 1 year or plus, and you come from Italian-speaking
I come from
Switzerland.
the Italian part of Switzerland.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Well, can you please explain what was your path?
No,
Why did you invent?
Okay. Well, actually, as many women in middle age, I started to have a problem to read, so I definitely need reading glasses. And I'm a very messy person, and so I had reading glasses everywhere because I was always losing them, So I thought there must be somewhere in the world something that allowed me to keep my reading glasses around my neck, So I've started searching everywhere. And I just find out that it wasn't in the world, There's something that the world missed, Some reading glasses extension or something to hold them around my neck, as I'm doing now. So I was very, very lucky, to be honest, because I never felt like, I'm a woman, you're a woman, you can't do it. I don't know, maybe I come from a country that this is not so important, We have this is what I feel, we have our space. If we want to have it, we can, just. And my very good friend, Elena, she's like a sister for me. She's a project manager, and she has been working almost all her life in medical patent. So, I invited her for lunch, and I said, listen, I have an idea. What can we do with that? What do you think? And she started to give me the very good advice, like, don't say to anybody, just be careful. Don't, how you say that, divulge? Divulgazione?
Don't divulgate.
Sorry, my
Don't
English.
talk, yeah.
Is not well. Yeah. Don't talk too much about it, because you can burn your idea, If something stronger than you will, realize that it could be a good idea. Simple, of course, when I listen to you, everybody invented something so interesting and incredible, This is a very simple idea, but it works, And so we started. We started like that, and my Elena has her deal. It was like to look after all the patent sector, that it was very important, and mine was to go around and convince some people to give me some money to start, because this is one of the biggest obstacles, you know, in everybody's life, I think. So actually, I was lucky. I have to say I was lucky, because I found a few people that believed and said, yeah, why not? This is a good idea. I mean, we can, you know. So we started, and here we are today. Just
Lovely. And Switzerland has got a lot of money, so it might be perhaps easier in Switzerland to look for financial support. But let's go first to marketing strategies. What kind of strategy did you decide to take? Would it be a very aggressive one, or would you be, you know, step by step? Like when I was looking for financing for our product, they gave only very little money, but it was a statal help. They said that, no, you cannot go to Denmark. You have to go first to Sweden. And if you are well over there in Sweden, then you can go to a fair in Denmark. It was a Scandinavian fair of that area. Why not going directly? So perhaps sometimes the advice you get from authorities is the wrong one. So what kind of strategies did you choose, please?
I guess as the other colleagues up here are entrepreneurs and they've worked on a business. What we do is in the Saad Foundation is we do the training end of things for the entrepreneurs and how to get them started and how to give them the right advice, I guess, to figure out what the best way is to go about in their projects and how to market them and get them across. So the work we do and that we've been working towards is taking these inventors and innovators and teaching them the basics of business. So most of the time you'll have entrepreneurs and inventors and people that are in invention that don't have that end of things. So they'll think of something, they want to create it, but they don't know the steps towards building that. And that's what we do as a part of our programs and as the Adam Foundation and with GlobalWIIN, is we've created a network for these women to come to share their ideas and then to help them push forward and figure out how to market these ideas, whether in the region or globally. Really
lovely. We would all need that. How can we clone you?
I mean, I run the show, but I don't do the training.
Okay.
Let's just say that. So basically what we do is we look for people all over the world to bring them in and to create these connections with our startups and entrepreneurs that are with us and to have them understand how it is to market regionally and globally. Because obviously, you know, and I'm sure the ladies here know this, is when you're working in your region or in your country, there's a certain way to go about things. But then when you want to move globally, there's a whole new different packet of rules, regulations, even the culture is different. So marketing something or starting something in Kuwait or in the Arab region might be very different than starting it somewhere like France or Iceland. So that's what we try to teach the ladies that come to us in the network, how to globalize their companies and their ideas.
That really is very, very helpful. We should really clone you and the idea, but it needs people with heart to do that. How about you, Lahu?
For us, it's very different because we are on safety. So we do not have choice than to, as I am an aircraft inspector, I have designed the black box in accordance with the regulation.
Yes,
and the worldwide regulations, so that my black box is universal It fits with any aircraft. It can be a rocket, it can be an aircraft, and so forth. And I have designed the black box so that it connects to all actors in aviation, because the reality of the aircraft manufacturer is not the technician who repair the aircraft, and it's not the pilot who fly the aircraft. They only meet only when there is a crash. So this black box links everyone on the safety point, and we have tested on numerous aircraft. It took us nearly 10 years to validate the technology with our figures, and then we went to the UN Agency for Civil Aviation, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization, which handled the world, and said, we have created this, can you evaluate it? And we have evaluated, we were evaluated for 2 years by the experts of the world of civil aviation. And they said, we confirm it's a black box. It increased the international civil aviation. And we have worked as well with Boeing as well during 6 months to improve, because they have selected us for the implementation on their fleet. So we are waiting for their feedback. So maybe Boeing will be the main manufacturer to improve it, because we have worked with Boeing on the civil and military aircraft with an additional safety workshop on the B737 MAX. So we have transferred the whole knowledge of, to Boeing on the, especially for the B737 MAX. They called us. I mean, I worked with them on this specific aircraft, but also for their entire fleet. So let's see. We are waiting for the feedback of Boeing at the time being, and we trust that as soon as Boeing will implement the ground data black box, the other aircraft manufacturers will follow, because Boeing is the leading manufacturer, and they have now, let's see what they're going to do.
Do you have IP for the coding?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
And even in the world, I mean, nobody will find the people who have designed the ground data black box. They are
very good.
They are hidden. They are like the, how do you say, Daft Punk.
How are you funded?
By our own. My sister and partner Fatou Keita put most of the money. I have sold my furniture, because nobody wanted to fund us. It's on our own money, until now.
Until now?
Until now. It's all, now that we have aircraft equipped with our technology, thanks God, in Hungary.
Yes.
So it is the only third black box certified by a civil aviation authority already.
Good.
And we have this license and our own funding.
So when you invented this, you already knew what is against you, or were there surprises on the
whole industry, because safety costs, and they said, you know, if you, for me, I deliver aircraft to pilots. I see their fear, because look, you cannot put 2 black boxes on board, because an aircraft has only 2 possible configurations, either in flight with 2 black boxes on board to record the flight safety of the aircraft, either on ground, but 0 black box on ground, which is a safety configuration as well. So the pilots take this responsibility at takeoff. In addition to piloting, for the whole industry, they carry the ground safety configuration of the airplane. So they have to take us from point A to point B, and fighting with the errors of the industry, either the technician, So with this ground data black box, which capture the defects, they can focus on their flight. The safety, ground safety configuration is covered.
Listen, we all flew over here. Did we know all these problems? No, but now we will be more secure in the future. So please, Torbjörn, what was your strategy at the beginning, and did you change it by the path?
Yes, well, my strategy was extremely careful one, because as I said, I didn't plan to become an entrepreneur, and I'm a risk averse also. so I wanted to, I knew that I met my patients during my PhD. I knew there was a patient group, and I did some marketing research, but this was new to me. I came out of science. I was teaching at the university in Copenhagen, and going towards this path, I just did it very carefully. So I wanted to test the market, and interestingly, the company in Denmark, the industry, and the ministry, and the university had chosen not to include Iceland in the patent strategy because it was such a small country, and who cared? But this was my human laboratory, so to speak. It was my home base. So what I did for milk money, obviously I had small children, and I was in the process of giving birth to children also at the time. They are born 7, 9, and 13, and so they didn't understand that they didn't get steak on Fridays or a beach trip during the summer. I kind of just scraped everything a little bit like you sold your furniture. You do what you have to do. And I started slowly, and then I had another job on the side for a long time. So that's how I started. And what I did then when I introduced the product to the market in 2012, I was pregnant with my third child there, is that I was here in Harpa at the annual dental conference, and I had a presentation, a scientific one really, which I had many times throughout the world, at different conferences. But at this particular one, I was able to then introduce the product for the first time. Because throughout the years, I've always asked, where's the product? Where is this fantastic product that stimulates saliva, is helping people? And it wasn't at the market. So that's how I started. And then I teamed up with professionals. I started communicating with dentists, and then we grow into medical doctors. The Icelandic Dental Association then slowly, asked to support by putting their actual brand to it because they understand it very well. So I've done it, risk aversely, and then we kind of grew. And I raised capital as soon as I could prove the market. It was easier to get capital in. And then it just went from there. I also want to say that I started by introducing the product to the market as a foodstuff, because there's nothing in there really. It's the functionality of the product that makes it a medical device as we're registered today. But we had to take it to the medical device registration in order to be able to enter the other markets. Danish market, for example, doesn't sell foodstuffs in pharmacies, and we belong in pharmacies.
Yeah, the medical devices regulations are very, very tight. The more the product goes, if it's made for persons, then it's a medical device. The more it goes in your body, it's graded as more difficult level of rights. So if you have this is not going inside me, only the liquid is going inside me. But if you have an IUD or a prosthesis, it goes into you. And therefore, medical devices regulations are very, very strict. And when you get that CE mark from the medical devices levels, then you can sell all over Europe. But of course, then in the US, you need another one. Mm-hmm. You need, in every different country and area, you need another regulations to be done. So therefore, please be patient and go through. It's the best way. And now, Franziska, what kind of strategy did you decide?
Said it again. Sorry.
Your strategy on going forward, was
okay.
it an aggressive one?
Okay,
or
I just want
slow,
to,
slow?
yeah, okay. So it wasn't that easy for us because at the beginning you have enthusiasm, that's a great idea, everybody was focused on numbers and so and so. And of course, then we realized that most of the money we had to spend it to protect the patent, and it was really very expensive. So as you and as many other people, I had to invest all I have. Actually, my daughter, she's quite angry with me because all my finance for my retirement went into my project, so it's like, and so many times during the pandemic time and whatever, we were like struggle, oh my God, just looking at each other and said, are we doing the right things? Is it okay? What can we do? And we had many people on our backs saying that, oh, doesn't work. Just forget, surrender, don't do it anymore. You and your story. Jealous people, and so one thing I've learned is less I talk about it, better it is, At least I can sleep well, because so many people, they were, just trying to just stop us, push us, But then finally, I think 2 weeks ago, we were talking about that and said, what if we knew how all the effort and everything we had to put into that, would we do it or no? And I said, it has been such an incredible and nice time, even in the bad time, good time, whatever, but it has been good, And I was saying, we are 8 billion people in the world, and we put something that nobody else put it here, on this earth. So, yes, it was a good time, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen, but it was a good time, and we still enjoyed the journey. Yeah.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
So one thing I noticed each of you ladies discussed is the finances, and especially starting up and the difficulties in that. And one of the things we've more recently have started to work on now and hope to launch soon as a SAD Foundation is to focus on angel investing. But the difference is the training part of it. So as a SAD Foundation, how to train not only startups to be able to pitch their product, but how to train an angel investor to understand these different projects, to know what the right choice is, how to finance, and how to figure that out. And we've been in talks now with different entities to figure out how to move that forward. So specifically in Kuwait, how to get these big businessmen that want to invest and don't know how. So they want to find the next big idea, how we help them and how they work towards understanding how much, and not only that, but how to choose and how to figure out, because sometimes you invest in the person and sometimes you invest in the idea. Sometimes a person will come with the wrong idea, but they're the right person, and the other way around. And so how to train them, and also then to help the startups and give them the opportunities to go in front of these angel investors and create a community, and to help ease that issue sometimes you have when you're first starting up, to have somebody believe in the project.
Can I pitch in on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because my experience is also that timing is always everything. And as an investor, you would like to have, the science is in place, the patent is in place, you want the proof of concept in the market, and then you want to see the actual sales figures, and they actually become more and more greedy on things they want to see before they actually, if you want a real money put in. I mean, I'm not talking about the less amounts. And then once you have the interest and you have all this homework, takes a decade, by the way, then it's about valuation. And then all that time and effort, and you potentially were without the salary, and you sold all your furnitures, and you spent all your savings, and it's like, that is, and you actually made a lot for very little. I mean, if you look at the whole picture, and that is not valued.
Exactly.
And sadly, I have a very interesting product. I know that. The sky is the limit. We have a global potential. And I have had hostile takeover offers, several of them. And I'm offended, I'm like, why? I mean, why? That means that money is basically, we know that money makes the world go around. And we understand that money often is the stronger variable. But having, I have 5 university degrees, I have a double PhD, I have an executive MBA, I have all these years of experience as an entrepreneur, and it's disrespectful almost. And so I'm just saying, because I have the impression that we have similar experience going around, not here in the panel only, but also in the room and out in the world.
Exactly. No, and I think if we look at GlobalWIIN, the work GlobalWIIN is doing with Dr. Paula, and maybe the work we do as a Saad Foundation, is to help these women that are starting up, especially in the beginning. Most of the time they have the idea, they don't even know what type of paperwork they need to get, or what they should do. Some people, we advise, you don't need the patent. Go, get started, get going. Otherwise, there are other places. In your case, when you said that it was very vital is getting the patent and securing all the coding and everything for the product itself. So
sorry to just go on. I will answer you.
So I think it is we as these type of networks that are there to help innovators and inventors and startups take on the burden to help bridge these gaps. I think. Whether it is between the entrepreneurs themselves and the businesses, or even to help guide them in the right path. Sometimes, and I've heard this, I think when we were in London last year, I can't remember the name of the lady, but she talked about how she spent too much time doing the wrong thing. We had the panel discussion on the law end of things and how things work and what kind of legalization you need to do for your businesses. And she spoke about how she put all her money in the wrong place. So sometimes you do sell your, as you said, all your furniture, or you take a pay cut and you do all of this, and then it's not even put in the right place. So I think it's a burden on us, and I feel like it's a very important thing on us as these different networks. How do we help these women? How do we help these entrepreneurs to take that money, that sacrifice, that work they've done, and put them in the right space? Sometimes it's not easy even for us as a network to financially help these startups, which we try to do a lot with women in the region. So they will come to us, they'll tell us, I need this much to do the patent, and we kind of help them, or we get the right different associations in on board to help them push forward. But also sometimes I think advice and giving the right advice is very important, especially when somebody's starting.
This comes to the idea of mentoring. You're actually mentoring these people.
Yes.
And they perhaps don't even know what it is to be a businesswoman. Therefore, it is important to get that kind of ideas from a person who is not, checking on your own pockets that I want to get money from this, but who is really with a heart helping you to go forward. But where are they? So I think these associations like GlobalWIIN Finland, where I come from, we have also started mentoring, and Sweden has been doing it as well. So we do need, but we don't have money, you have money as well. That's even a better combination. Mm-hmm. But people do need mentoring and, kind of private mentoring that but don't do this, do this in early enough so that you can get your money back. In IP, it is if you apply for a patent, it becomes public within 18 months, which is more than a year, 1.5. So if you are not sure, or you have changed your product a little bit, you can amend your patent and not let it public. And when you amend it, you get another 18 months to wait until it becomes public. Perhaps during that time you have received enough money, or you have changed your product so that it works more many other countries. So please ask for this kind of advice. If you don't get them, look long enough. How about you? Did you get Francesca? Did you get any advice? Well, your colleague, your friend, was a patent attorney or patent advisor.
She's really tough. I mean, she really knows how to move. Because what you said, I was listening to what you said. It's okay, but at the beginning, you really have to be careful to whom you are talking. I mean, you have to trust the person, otherwise it's divulgation and you can't have the patent, you know, because if something is already out, so this is really tricky. I believe we were lucky because we found the right people that started to support us at the beginning. They weren't so happy in the middle of the journey because, of course, the pandemic. Then we had some people that were interested in buying the patent. They were Russia. So after the pandemic, we had so it was like, well, I mean, we at the end we quite said, okay, let it be, you know, just. You know, I believe that sometimes you really have to have this light energy, you know, like whatever, you know, a little bit. Yeah.
You sold the patent?
No, we didn't. No, we could not. They were Russia.
Yeah.
They closed everything, and you know, maybe we were lucky because we could have sold the patent and then not received the money because they closed everything. So you know, we were always trying to put positive thoughts. You know, just dance a little bit with the universe and. Don't take anything too much too serious.
I think you were lucky.
One strategy that I wanted to share is that, I mean, for us it works. You have to put your innovation and you have to build the fake innovation that you will put on the market so that your competitors go to the fake innovation you will never do while you go to this side. Because I have divided my innovation because it goes from the pilot to the aircraft. I know that the right innovation is from the aircraft, so I started from the maintenance repair organizations. And all my competitors, they have built a maintenance portal. I said, and I won 10 years. Because when they realized it was the third black box of an airplane, they have built maintenance portals, which are costly, but not the black box. We won 10 years because of this strategy. The whole iceberg is here, but you put a little, but the whole thing is there. We need the maintenance portal to feed the black box. That's what we have seen, but the black box was there.
Isn't it funny that, well, if you go with an idea to a company that is on your field of where the innovation is. I went to a company who had the production manager, the development manager, and the CEO, and none of them knew the problems their present product had. They wanted me to go to their distributors in France and UK and Sweden and Germany to explain my product. I would have lost everything. So please, you don't. If you want to go to a company to explain your product and make them buy it, don't go on the lower level. Go to the CEO. because the development organization is against you, because you are a competitor to them,
Yes.
to their knowledge. So therefore you had the problems of the maintenance, because they thought that you are going over them.
We have started with the maintenance portal, and you know, an innovation is hidden all the time from yourself. But actually, we were building a black box, and when we realized, we hided it, and we highlighted the maintenance portal. I said to my sister, hey, by the way, we are building a black box, but we were still advertising the maintenance portal, and it's very important. And I have companies, they said, it costs a lot of money to do the fake innovation. It as important as you have to do both, fake and the real one. And you put money on both, otherwise you are dead, especially when we are women.
Well, one idea is to market, depending on your product. You can market in the way of push and pull. You can, if your product is for the consumers, but the buyer is, for example, in my case, hospital, you had to give information to the hospital decision makers and try to push them, try to pull them down so that they understand that they actually earn money, learn and get better results with their product, with their patients. And then the people, push them up to understand that this is something that you need in the future. So there are different kind of strategies you can choose, and you have to know what is good for you and for your product. I don't know whether this is a good summary, but I pointed out some ideas. Guiding the right path. Please try to be guides to your friends, fellow inventors. We are not competing against each other. We are competing against men's society, men ruling. And sometimes when the market is regulative market, like the airspace and like medical devices, it takes 10 years, 10, 15 years until you can go to the market with a product. So choose your colleagues very, very well, because many people want to be you, and they can, without your knowledge, they can start explaining to somebody else that they are actually the inventor. And that is really something that you have to be careful. Choose your friends well. Of course, friends, yes, but your colleagues well, and your co-workers. And then we had the idea that the inventors, when investors, they invest on people or the idea. But I should complement that with team. Usually the investors look at the team, whether the team is good enough to go forward with this. So therefore, again, choose your colleagues well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to highlight some few points that, as a final message, this training to be an entrepreneur is very important, because most of us inventors came from the academic, the science. We are not, it's just an idea that we thought to realize, but we lack of an entrepreneur education. So that is very important, and we really have to think about that. And then I am very sorry that all this lady just confirmed that there is a difficulty in funding our startups, as previous speakers this morning has already highlighted. So, one of the major expenses is in protecting our patents during the years. And this is another problem that we need to solve in some way or the other. And angel investors may be an answer, but they have to look, as all the ladies have already said, to the team, to the person, to the idea.